That's the mic 1 2. Yeah, welcome to another video. It's been a while, right? Well, in this live video, I'm trying to create a booking application where I got the inspiration from wait, let me just check to see everything is working. Okay, so I got the inspiration from a really nice hotel I went to in London sometime back, actually. So that's where I got the inspiration from to create this booking application. So I was trying to book the hotel at some point, and then I realized that I can actually create something like this with React, Node.js, and Express. So it was one of those moments where it was like, hold my beer in it. So how it works is that we have the front end being this way, where we have the various pages. We have the dining area. Actually, let's go back. We start with the home page, which is something basic in it, but then you can add to it how you want. How you feel like you're comfortable with your design and concept. But the most important takeaway is the basic infrastructure, and then you scale it up from there. So we have the home page here with just a carousel, and then the image changes over a period. So actually this is a component that I've created, and then the various pages, the various write-ups, you can fill it in any way that you want. And then you come to the dining area. The dining area is also just a basic layout, and when you realize that I'm still using the component of the carousel with the carousel in it, and then put in your images, and then that will automatically populate, and then you have some page like this. You can go up, you can scale up and also make a reservation for the restaurant or bar, which mostly nowadays I've realized that most restaurants and bars do. Alright, so they also have a spa and wellness center, which I think was really cool. Yeah, so it was a really nice hotel, you know. Actually, I have pictures, but for privacy reasons, I probably might not show it. It was a really good experience. And my takeaway from this is that sometimes you need a break from life, innit? Anyway, from there you go to the rooms section. With the room section, you have the various rooms. I'm still using the carousel component, so we have the superior rooms, we have the deluxe rooms. The images changes after some few seconds, and then we have the executive room. So you can click on one of the rooms, and it gives you the detail of the rooms, the superior room description. Actually, I should have put the price here, but well, it doesn't matter. So when you click on one of the rooms, you can go to book now. You book, your reservation form is here. It gives you the detail of the room with the pictures, and then the price, which I should have added on the other side. Alright, so you can then fill in the details. Let's say, let me put my name here, and then put in my email here, and then you select the check-in date, probably, let's say tomorrow, and then you select the checkout date. Let's give it like 3 days, and then you submit. All right, so well, you get a success message, and then a message saying that check your email for confirmation. All right, so that's basically it for how do you call it, the client side. So you come back here, still have your home page, your dining area, your spa, and then rooms. Let's book another room again. Let's go to executive. Let's book a room here, and then let's do LeBron James. I know I keep using LeBron too much. LeBron@gmail.com. The check-in date will be somewhere around here, let's say, and then checkout date, let's give it that, and then let's submit. Alright, so when you come to the admin side of it, alright, so I think I've spotted a bug here, but I'll fix it later. So let's give it admin@gmail.com, and then the password. Actually, let's go over the layout. So we have a login and then a register. So don't mind this. So inside the login form, you can have your administrative login credentials, where you can do your admin@gmail.com and password. Let me know in the comment section if the music is too loud. Actually, I like coding with music, so it's what it is, isn't it? When you submit, you come to your dashboard. Your dashboard could be anything, could be maybe a welcome message, whatever. So do what you want with that. So when you come to the bookings, you realize that we have our bookings here, where we have the name, the email, and the type of room that they booked. So you, the administrator, can view the bookings. You can confirm. So you realize that the confirmation has changed from no to yes. Let's change this to confirm. So no to yes. Then you can as well delete. You can as well delete the booking. Yeah. So basically, this is what you have. Then you probably might want to log out. Alright. So basically, this is the application that we are trying to build. So we'll be using Node.js, React, Express for our backend, and all of that. But as well, we'll also be using Redux for our state management and all of that. So let's just hop onto it. So actually, this is the actual code for it. I mean, the client aspect, the administrative aspect, and then the server aspect. So we are going to start off by building the server, then we hop onto the client, then we move to the administrator part. Alright, let's hop into it then. Alright, so I've already created a folder with the name YT Booking Up. So let's open that in Visual Code. Alright, so yeah, first of all, it's an empty folder, so let's start off by creating npm init-y, then npm install express. We need express, we need .env, we need mongoose for our database, and then we'll also need JSON web token for authentication purpose. And then for now, this is what I think we will need for now. So in case we need something more, we'll come back and then install that. Alright. Epidemic is a really good platform, isn't it? Anyway, so you have the installation done. Let's close this, and then let's create the server folder, and then create the server.js. Then inside the server, let's say console.log server started. So back in the package.json inside the script, usually I'll take off this, but let's keep that. Let's say server, server, and then you do node.mon server.js. We're actually using node.mon to watch our server file when there's changes made to the server.js file. So let's save that, and then let's run npm run server here. That should start up our server. Yep. Okay. Alright, everything's, we have the console, in the console the server started aspect. Alright, so let's bring in express, express, and then we initialize our express, and then before we move ahead, let's create a .env file, and then inside here we will, let's just save this. Then let's also create our port and say process.env.port or 5000, and then we say app.listen on port on our port, and then we console.log listening on port. Alright, save it. Alright, let us as well bring in our .env. Env equals to require .env, and then we also do the config. Alright, but then before we move ahead, let us declare some variables for our .env file. Let's say mongo underscore URI equals to MongoDB /localhost, let's do YT cooking. Yeah. I'm just prefixing it with YT just to indicate that it's a YouTube video tutorial. Alright, then we save. But anytime you make changes to your .env file, you need to restart your server. So npm run server, like that. Alright, so back in the server, we have everything running like it's supposed to, but then again let's also as well set up some middleware. So app.use express JSON, this will pass the data that we sent from the backend, I mean from the client actually. Alright, so we have all of that defined. So now what we have to do is connect to our database. So what I would rather do is create a config file, config folder, and say db.js. Then we bring in mongoose, and then we say connect db should be an async function, and then we have our try catch, and then in our catch section we console.log the error.message, and then process.exit with default 1. Alright, so in the try we can say con should be await mongoose.connect. We have our connect and process.env.mongo URI. We are using the environment variable here, so we have that to be Mongo URI. Right. Then from that we can say console.log connected to database, and then inside you have the connection. We have the connection, and then we have the host, like that. So from here, then we have to export our connection variable. So we do module.export equals to connect db. So back in the server file, let's connect our database by bringing in the connect db from the config db. We have some errors. What do we have? Oh, like that. Sorry. Yeah. So from that we can connect our database. So we then can say connect to database, and then we can say connect db, and then we run our function. Yeah. So we have our connected to database. Let's change. Database should be an S. Database, like that. Connected to database, and it's the local host. Alright. At some point, we'll then run how do you call it? We'll then use a compass, which is the one hosted, and then have it connecting from the cloud. So for now, let's use our local host to manage our database. Okay. Now that has been set up, let's just then set up our route. So inside the server folder, I want to bring in, say, create a folder called routes. Then first, what I want to do is to create the room routes JS. So we bring in the router from Express, and we say router will be that, and then let's not forget to export our router. So when we do a get request, that I want us to send the response back to the client by saying with a message of get rooms, like that. So back in the app server file, we can say app.use/API/rooms. We want to use room route. Let's bring in our room route from here. Should be in our room route. Do we have any errors? No, thank you. You're welcome. Let's close some of the files. All right. Let's then test our route to see if we can hit that endpoint. But then at this point, I will use Postman at some point. But for now, I want to use an extension that I have. An extension that I have in VS Code, which is that then should be a GET request, HTTP local host port 5000 /API rooms. Let's send the request, and we have that. But then again, what I want to do is create a controller file. Controller. We're trying to follow the MVC pattern. So we have a view, which will be the front end. We have the controllers, the routes. We have the controllers, and then we have another folder. Let's create it for now. Let's say models. So following the MVC principle, we have the models controllers, and then we'll use React for the front end. So inside the controller folder, we can then create room controller.js. So we can say const get rooms should be equals to, let's for now write anything, and then return res.json, and then a message of get all rooms new, and then let's export that to the get rooms like that. So how then do we use it? So back in the room route, we can then bring that in from here, like that, inside our controllers. Right, require balance. Right, lectures we require. Why are you not giving me that? Controllers, room controller, like that. Will it work? What are we missing? What's the problem? Where can I find? Controllers. Right. Jumping into rage cage, short circuit in the mainframe that I'll be on in a minute though. Just made me a couple of centerfolds. I blew it all at the register. Could have lived it twice if I wanted to, but I cherish this. I'm a character. I'm a problem with the predicate. Back then I was trapped in with the padded pen to make it happen. It was at risk, but that's past tense. Now they back to pen, nigga tap in. Let's see. Const get rooms. Should be in the controllers, isn't it? The room What are you missing? Sometimes Node be tweaking. Are you kidding me? Why do I feel like I'm goat? How I'm woke, I'm living dreams. How I'm born and I'm smart. How I'm humble and I'm modest. How the puzzle keep from seeing me. Start some wishing for the possible. Comment on drama. Thank God I made it to tomorrow. Sorry, control this. Control that. Yeah, nigga needed patience. Not a cool level glacier. Yeah, I see the money tree and capped a couple rates. Yeah, I'm cheating tech today. How they brought a nigga cake. How they come with my face. Watch a nigga ride the wave. Yeah, I'm married to the game instead of tossing rice and throwing in shade. Let's restart the server again. In the bag of the green blades. I'm a flower child from like miles away. To hell with assumption, you should be afraid. I'm a young black man here to stay. On my mind, I don't waste your time. I come from a side when you might just lose your life. I make new reply. Trying to see the light. Aiming at the sky. Wanna see how high we fly. Money on my mind. I got that money on my mind. Money on my mind. How are you gonna export it? What's that about? Let's delete this one. Oh, yeah, you have to come up one step, controllers, and then room controller. Thank you. Whatever. Cool. So instead of running this function, we can change that and say get rooms like that, and that should work. Should send the request. Let's get rooms here. Cool. All right. So let's create the model for the rooms then. So you say room model .js file. Then we bring in mongoose require because let's say a room schema should be a new mongoose schema. Then we have the name, should be a type of string. Required should be true. I think that will be it. And then we have the name, we have the price, type should be a number, required should be true, and then we need a description, type should be string, and let's bring down this. Type should be a string, required should be true, and let's shorten this to disk just to prevent some unnecessary errors. And then for this will be let's say if it's a deluxe room, it will have room numbers. Let's say room numbers, room numbers like that. And then for that, I want it to be a type of an array, let's say, and then inside that, I want the number to be a number, then unavailable dates. Unavailable dates will be also an array of dates like that. So basically here what I'm trying to say is that for every type, let's say if it's a deluxe room, a superior room, or whatever room it is, they'll have more than one of such rooms. So the difference, they'll still be the same room with the same price, with the same description, but then they will also have different room numbers. So for the type will be an array, and then within that array we have, for each room we'll have the number and then the unavailable dates for that room. So let's say if somebody books the room for the 24th, then it means on the 24th that room will not be available, and that date will be put in this array. So when you are trying to book the room, you then have to check if such date is in the unavailable date. If it is, then you do not confirm the booking, something like that. All right, so we then have to also create the module. So module.export .export mongoose.model, and that will be room, and then we need a room schema like that. Cool. So back in the, let's close some of the files. Back in the room controller, let's say we want to create room. You can say create room will be an async function, the request response. Usually I will try to avoid using the and then let's use a next. I'll try avoid using next and all of that, but there's something I want to show. Let's return res.json message. Let's say create room, and then I want the create room. Yeah. So back in the room route, let's say this will be get all rooms, and then this will be create room. So router.post to that will be create. We want the create room, which will then be imported here. So let's come here and then simulate a post request to HTTP local host port 5000, and let's say API rooms. So we should, when we send the request, we have the create room here. Easy breezy. All right, so room controller, yeah. Let's also talk about error handling. What I want to do is that in a situation where, mostly with an async function, yeah, you will have to create a try catch. Like let's bring in the room model first. So room equals to require, let's go up, and then we want into our models, and then room model. All right, so when we are trying to create the room model, we do a try catch, and then when there is an error, I want to call the next middleware with the error. I'll explain. And then in that situation, our tray is trying to create a room with a new room. It should be an await room that create with request body. But before that, let's also validate data from user with JWT. So we'll work on this later. So let's say if room, if not room, we will then say raise that status to be 400, which will be a bad request, and then we throw new error with the message there was a problem creating a room. So when this happens, the error will be caught here, and then it will move on to the next middleware, which is then what I'd want to talk about. So let's create a new folder here and say middleware, and then let's create error middleware.js. All right, so in here we say, let's rename this to error handler. Say error handler.js. So in here I'll say error handler. So Node.js has a built-in error handling error handler where you define that by having to say defining 4 parameters and then that. All right. So if this error handler is hit, we just have to return. Res.status. First of all, what I want to do is I want to do, say, const status should be equals to if it's res.status, I want to use the res.status. Other than that, I want to use 500. Oh, status code, sorry. If it's that, I want to use that. Other than that, I want to use that, and then I can res.json, and then with the JSON, I want the message to be error dot message, and then status code will be my status. Like that. So what I'm trying to say is that if this error handler is hit, I'll explain how the error handler will be used. So if this error handler is hit, which is defined by using the error request response and then the next, I'll then want to check if there is a status code which is already set. If there is a status code already set, then I would want to use it. Other than that, I'd want to use a status code of 500. Alright, so we'll return with, there's the status, should be a status. Sorry, let's rewrite this whole thing again. We return res.status should be our status. Let's make it status code. Yeah, so we can have some like that, status code, and then .json with a message of error dot with dot message, like that, like that. What's the problem here? Oh, inside our model, sorry. Room model. This should be like that. Sorry. What do you want to say now again? Say, oh, we have lots of errors. Let's notify. Module, sorry. Cool. All right. So module.exports equals to error handler, like that. Okay. So how then do we use the error handler? We then come to our server file, then down under the route, we then say app.use error handler, like that. Sometimes you do a good job just importing that, whatever. So let's bring in the handler from I'll be in middleware then error handler, like that. Are you gonna crash on me? Are you serious? Yeah. So back in the room controller, when we try to create a room, if there's not a room, we throw a new error, which then will be caught here with the error handler, which is then defined here, where the error handler is defined with an error request, response, and next parameters. And then on that, we say if there's a status code, if it's a status code, we would want to use that status code. Other than that, we would want to use 500, and then we'll return and say we return with the res.status of with the status code at JSON, then the message, and then the error, that message. Yeah, pretty much simple. All right, so let's simulate creating a room from a room model. So what we will need is the name, the price, the description, then room numbers, which will be an array, and then with the number and an unavailable date, something like that. So let's get it. Anyway, so in here, I'll then say content type will be application JSON, and then we'll need a name. Let's say test room. Sorry, I'll need a name of test. Usually the reason why I like doing a live video is to not demonstrate a situation where everything is straightforward, like having those that you see in tutorials where you see programmers not having to struggle, having to create an application such that when you are doing it and you're running into errors, you pretty much understand that that's normal, how you create an application. So the price, let's do it for £500, and then the description of, let's say, some description, and then room numbers, we said it to be an array of number, let's say to room 101 in it, 101, and then let's say on available date will be an array of dates. So let's say 2024 01 01, let's give it 23rd, 24th, something like that. Then we might probably have another one, 2024, say 01, 26th, like that. So you have the name, price, description, room numbers. Let's check the model. Room numbers. It should be room numbers, like that. Room numbers. The room numbers should be a number. Unavailable date. Unavailable dates will be unavailable dates. Will be that. All right. Let's send the request to see what we get. Moment of truth. Our application is hanging. Let's see what we've done wrong here. Oh, we didn't return. Yes. So return reservation. Well, what you can also do is you can say res.status 201 and then a JSON with the room document, like that. All right. So we set our request. Let's send up the request again. R is not message. R is not defined. What do you mean by that? Let's do test 2. You want the name, should be a string, price, of the name, price, description, where is the oh, that. I think we had a typo problem. Let's send off the request again. Yeah, we have our room created. Thank you. You're welcome. All right. So let's create another room. So 3, and then yeah, 101, say, and then let's turn off that, and that has also been created. So good. All right. So back in the controller, let's try and then get all the rooms. So we have a try catch, then one with the next would be error, and then in the rooms, sorry, wait, room that find if not rooms, return, and then we'll say we will then write the status 400, which which will probably be a bad request, and then throw new error and say rooms not found. Other than that, we want to return res.json. We can do the status of 200 and then a JSON message with the rooms like that. Alright, let's test to see what we'll get. Send request. Yeah, we have the rooms that we created. Coolly. Alright. I send up the request. I want to get an ID. Alright, so what we also would want to do, let's close our model. Let's say get single room. That will be const get room will be an async function request response, and then next, and then we have our try catch. Pass our next with the error, and then we can say await room that find one, or we can use find by ID, request that params ID. If not room, what I want to is where's the status of 400, and then throw new error and say room not found. Other than that, I want to return that of 200 and then a JSON with the room. So in here I can say get single room, and then should be a get request to HTTP localhost 5000 API rooms, and then I want the ID like that. But then we didn't export that, so let's say get room like that. Bring that here, get room. So we don't need an error handler, we don't need the server file. So let's say get single room router dot get with an ID on the get room like that. Do we have any error? Cool. Let's test off like that. Yeah, we get the room. Alright, so let's create a route to update the room as well. So update room, and then say update room, and the next, and then still have a try catch, come on, and then next with the error, and then So you can say say updated room equals to await room that find by ID and update. We want the request that params ID, and then from that we want to set request body, and then in here I want the new to be true, and then I'll say if not updated room, I want the press that status of 400, and the rest that didn't throw new error with cannot update, and then I'll return status 200 JSON updated room. So let's go over the code. So update room is an async function with a request response and then the next middleware. So we can say updated room, we await room, then we find by ID, and then we update, and then the ID is the request params.id, which we'll get from the request object, and then from there we can set whatever is in the body to that, and then the new variable to return the updated version of the room. Other than that, we'll still get the old room, the data from the old room, and then we'll return with the rest status of 200 and then a JSON of the updated message. So let's export that too as well. Update room, and then in here should be update room. So router put an ID on the update room. Cool. So let's come back here. And then let's say update. So I want to put request. HTTP local host 5000 for API rooms, and then I want the same ID. Yeah, then the content type will be application, first JSON, and then I want the name should be updated name, and then let's say price of 10,000. I send off the request to see what we will get. Yeah. Yep. So we try to get the same, room, you have the updated room. Cool. Let's also delete the room as well. So we can say delete room equals to an async press, and we have a try catch. So we have the next with the error, then const room equals to await room that find by ID and come on, ID and delete, then that's request that params ID. So we can then come back here, still do our if not room. We want to raise the status of 400 should be a bad request, throw new error and say not deleted. Other than that, I want to return raise the status 200, and then the JSON with the ID. That is request the params. We will need this for the front end, so we can say ID like that. All right. So in that situation, we can then export the delete room here, and then paste that here, and then down here let's simulate a delete request. Wait, no, inside the room route, right, we can then say delete room, so router.delete, and make a delete request to with an ID uv delete room like that. Okay, so let's come back in here, and then let's say delete room. So I want to simulate a delete request. I hate this thing that this thing populate. So it's TP localhost 5000 API rooms with this ID. Come on. With that ID, bring that up here. Okay, so I'm on an HTTP to this room with that ID. Let's send the request. I'm expecting the ID back. Cool. So when we try to get the room back with that ID, I'm expecting no, room not found. Cool. So let's try and also update it like that. Aspect cannot update room. Cool. Thank you. So basically we've done the CRUD aspect for the room, and then as well we can then do the same thing for the booking. So essentially, let's say booking out JS. Yep. So same thing. we need to bring in router like that. Paste that here, and then initialize router, and then module export equals router. So inside our model for the, let's create the model for the booking. Say booking model.js. What I want is this require mongoose, and then cost booking schema cost new mongoose.schema. I want the room ID first. I could be mongoose.schema dot types dot object ID, like that. Then the reference will be room. Cool. And then on the name of the person should be a type of string. Required should be true. And then on the email, type of string. Required should be true. Email, check-in date. Type of date also required. And then on the checkout date, then type of date required to be true. And then I also want some timestamps. Timestamps to be true. That will create the created that, updated that. So basically, with the booking model, what we want is the room ID, which is the type of room the user is trying to book. And then we want the name of the user. We want the email so that we can send the email, check-in date, and then checkout date. Basically, and then okay, let's do confirmed, and then confirmed type will be boolean, which is true or false, and then I want to default of false, but that won't be required. So it is what it is, boy. Alright, so basically this is the model for the booking schema. So that's the schema for the model. So we then have to then create the model for that. So we say mongoose.model, which will be the name of booking. It will pluralize it and use bookings. That was a mouthful. Then we use a booking schema. Alright, now that we've created the booking schema, let's say router.get, like that. First, let's create the endpoint first. So for the endpoint, I'll say app.use API bookings, and then I want to use booking booking routes. All right, so same thing here. I want to require it from the route. Booking route, like that. Are you gonna crash on me? No, better. So in here we can say router.get. From that, I want to get bookings. We've not created this function yet in our controller, so back in the controller, let's create a new file and say booking controller.js, like that. Then get bookings should be on the sync. Response, next, same thing. Let's bring in our booking. Let's try and get things working before. Let's see. Before we bring in complicated stuff. So get bookings, return, no, module.export equals to get, bookings, like that. So back in the booking route we have, okay, so we can then say get bookings equals to require. We want to go into our controller and then make a controller, like that. Are you gonna crash? Better. You cannot crash on me, boy. So let's test off the route. Let's say get bookings. So it's a get request. HTTP localhost port 5000 API bookings, like that. Send a request, moment of truth, get bookings. Gracias, amigos. Amigos, la sienta. Gracias. Alright. It feels weird just sitting here all by myself, just talking to myself. Alright, so in that situation, I can bring in the booking model. To required from models, booking model, like that. So we've not created any bookings yet, so let's try and then create booking from here. So you create booking could be an async function with all of our parameters. Then we try and then we'll patch same formula next with the error const equals to await break body, my body. We okay, where's the status? 400, and then we throw new error. It's not great. Like that. Other than that, we want a 201, and then we send off our booking. Like that. Alright, so with the create booking, it's on the request response. Next, we'll catch the error here, send off the error. Other than that, we try to create our booking from the requested body, and if not booking, we set off our status of a bad request through our error. But if that is successful, we then return 201 status and then the booking. Gracias. So let's export that here. Let's say create booking like that, and then we don't need a room route. Here we say that we want to post to the booking. I want to create booking, which then is exported here. Is our application gonna crash? Hell no. Alright, so back in here, let's check our booking model, what we need. Booking route, we don't need a server. The booking model, what we need is the room ID, the name, the email, then check-in date, check-out date. The confirmation will be done for us by default. Okay, then our timestamps will be created, which will be the created at, updated at. Gracias. Alright, so in here, let's try and get some rooms so that we can get a room ID. Okay, we have that. You can copy that. Alright, so in there we can then say get booking, create booking with CP local host 45,000 API bookings. I want post. Oh, come on, what are you doing? Why are you wasting my time? Wait, what do we do with the route? Okay, cool. So we then say content type will be application /JSON, and then we need the room ID, which will be that, and then we need the name. Let's use yours truly, and then let's use our email. That's not my email, by the way. So if you're trying to send me an email, good luck. And then I need a check-in date. Let's do 2024 01 to 25th, like that. Let's do 26th, and then date, like that. So we need a room ID, we need a name, we get an email, check-in date, check-out date. Confirmation will be done for us by default. Let's send off the request. Expected double quotes. Double quotes on what? JSON position. I serious? Checking date, check-out date. Room ID. Content type. Application forest like JSON. What you mean? Expected name. Huh? Well, that's what I wrote. Okay, let's come in here. The name will be string, required to be true. What the hell? Close the body. Let's let me see something. Huh? Wait. There is a problem. There is a problem. API begins. Am I even hitting the endpoint? What are you saying? Okay. So you work. So what the fuck was that about? You'll be doing the most in it. By my body, my body. What's the problem? Boy, 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 boy. Come on. Alright, so let's see. Okay. Like that. Send that. Alright, everything works. Okay, cool. Okay. Yeah, works. What was that about, boy? Okay. So it works, but I don't know why it wasn't working the first time. All right, so let's delete booking. Let's get all the bookings then. So try catch. Basic, same principle. So we say const bookings cost away booking find if not bookings. We want to say what I want to do is fast status 400. So new and say so in that situation, I want to call the next would be error. Like that. Cool. So send request. Okay, cool. Let's create another one with the name. James, let's do 28, 29. Send. Okay, cool. Send request. Cool, wait. Alright, thanks. And then the next one will be update and then delete, then we are done. So const update booking plus an async function plus this one next. So try catch on the next URL and updated booking equals to booking dot find by ID and update on the request that finds the ID, and then I want to set it with the request that body, and then I say new, so true. If not updated, updated booking. If there's a problem, I want the status to be 400 as well. 0, error. It's great booking. Other than that, I want to return status 200. JSON would be updated booking, like that. Gracias. But usually, yeah, what I would want to do is to reset the state. of their bookings. So I will say const booking cost await booking find. So instead of just sending one, I want to send all so that we can update all the bookings like that. So we update the booking here. You don't necessarily need to do this, but that's fine. And then from that we can have our bookings. We'll find it, then return status 200 JSON, then we pass back our bookings like that. Yeah. So just one sec. Alright, so see, we have the next with the error like that. Okay, so let's also update booking like that. Update booking like that. Cool. So back in route, we can say that router dot put with an ID. I want to update the booking like that. Do we have it imported? Update booking in here. If you're not coming, I'm gonna come get you. Like that. Alright, so let's send the request to get all the bookings like that. And then so from there we can then do update booking. We want to put request HTTP local host 5000 API bookings. And we say content / type is application / JSON. And then here let's just try and change the we need the ID as well. / the ID we copied. Alright, let's get the bookings again. Send. The last time some of the ID were tweaking. Tweak it. Alright, let's copy this. down here, and then paste you here. Okay, so let's change the name to, let's say, updated name, and then email to updated at gmail.com. All right, moment of truth. Let's send the request. Okay, cool. All clear, sir. So let's delete the room, which will be the last thing we do. Delete booking. Should be on the sync. Come on. Request response. I feel tired. Next, and try catch. Const room. Away. Change that find by ID and delete. I want to require the params ID. First, let's match with the error, and then if not room, and to set the status to 400. Throw the new error. Then other than that, show that JSON with the ID request ID. Simple as that. As simple as that, boy. So when we delete the room, we should have something like export the delete room. Are you gonna change? Delete booking actually. What the world is wrong with you? You're not gonna give me a hard time on this, are you? Go. Alright, so back in the booking route, you say router.delete. Delete ID one delete room. Delete booking. Why do I keep saying delete room? Come on. And then paste it here. Go. So back in that same old. Let's copy this ID and then delete. I like using this extension because it just keeps everything in one place, so I don't have to like keep going back and forth with the VS Code. Want a delete HTTP call host for 5000 API bookings will be ID. Like that. And then let's send off the request. And we get the ID. Cool. Complete. So did we get the booking? Did we get a single booking? Get bookings. Oh, okay. We need to actually get the single booking. get single booking, get booking async next, and then we do a try catch, and then we have the next with the error, same thing, nothing fancy. Nothing fancy. Say const booking const to out. Come on. Wait, booking but find by ID. If not booking, you know what we do. We say res.status of 200. And then throw with a booking found. That so our request response next. Const booking, await booking that find by ID. We find it by request the params.id. Choose on. If we don't find it, we set the status of 400, sorry, which is a bad request. Then we throw a new error and say booking not found. Other than that, we have a status of 200 and then a JSON with the booking. Simple as that. So let's get the booking. Let's get you, boy. So like that. Paste. Get the booking. Let's get the route. So let's bring you here. And then we say that we want that, but when there's an ID, give me just one, boys. Give me one. Give me that. All right, so let's come in here and then let's try and get all the bookings. Let's get all the bookings. So actually we only have one booking. So let's copy that. And then we say HTTP 5,000. And my friends stuck ends the session. Okay, thank you. So which is when we try to delete, we go back, we cannot delete the room. Okay, we've already deleted that already, so let's get the bookings. Okay. Let's copy that. And then let's come down here. Paste it here. Send out the request. Cool. And then when we try to get all the bookings, it should come back empty like that. Cool. So let's try and get the single booking not found. Cool. All right. So that'll be the end of the. But before I check out, let's actually push this to GitHub, then we close. So in here, let's open GitHub, then we should create the new repository, and then YT became up. Okay, let's create the repository. Then this will be the remote. So we'll say get status. Alright, so get init. We've initialized our GitHub, and then we paste in our remote URL status. Alright, and before that, let's also create that git ignore file. So in here we'll say that git ignore. I don't want to add the node modules folder, and I don't want to add my .env file as well. What else don't I want to add? I'll keep the request file. Alright, so I'll say get status, get clear. I'll say get add, get commentation. I say init, and then get push origin master, like that. Alright, so when we come here, refresh, we should have our code in here. Samise. So what's the meaning of Samise? Yeah. Let's check that. Middleware routes, all of that. Okay. So that will end the stream for today. I sound tired, innit? So in the next tutorial, we are going to work on computer internet. In the next tutorial, we are going to work on how we will create the authentication part for the backend, and probably start off with the front end too as well. Alright, thank you for watching, and stay blessed.